Question 1. From a practical standpoint, Maria is configuring a new Oracle 12-vec database using DeepCA and needs to decide between creating a DEDES or an CDB. Her organization plans to host multiple applications, each requiring isolation, but they also want centralized administration of shared resources. Which configuration best aligns with these needs? A. Create and CDE is simplify administration and reduce overhead. B. Create a single CDB with one large PDB containing all applications. C. Create a single CDB with multiple PBS for each application. D. Create multiple CEBS, each containing a single EE. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Using a single CDB with multiple PBS provides the necessary isolation per application while maintaining centralized management. NIS-EBS lack multi-tenant benefits. A single large PDB doesn't provide isolation. Multi-CDBS increase administrative complexity and resource overhead compared to single multi-tenant setup. Oracle's multi-tenant architecture was designed for this exact scenario, balancing scalability, manageability, and isolation. Question 2. In light of recent developments, Brian is tasked with migrating large historical datasets from an old database into a 12-vec environment with minimal downtime. He needs a method that can efficiently handle both metadata and data transfer while allowing transformations during the import process. Which tool should he use? A. SQL Loader. B. Data pump export and import. C. External tables. D. Unmanned transportable table spaces. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Data pump export import is optimized for high-speed logical export import and supports transformation of objects during import. SQL Loader is suited for flat file loading, not full schema migration. External tables allow querying external data, but not full metadata movement. Unmanned transportable table spaces is for moving table spaces physically, but it's less flexible for schema-level transformations and doesn't handle metadata in the same way. Question 3. When analyzing Oracle's instance startup process, which state allows mounting the database but prevents user access to data until recovery operations are complete? A. Non-mount state. B. Open state. C. Mount state. D. Restricted state. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. The mount state opens the control files and enables certain operations like recovery, but data files remain closed. Non-mount only reads the initialization file. Open allows full user access. Restricted mode is a variation of open where only privileged users can connect, but it's not part of the basic startup sequence before opening the database. Question 4. Taking into account Oracle's memory architecture, if database is experiencing excessive sorting on disk, which memory structure should be increased to improve performance? A. Shared pool. B. Program global area PGA. C. Database buffer cache. D. Large pool. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Disk-based sorting occurs where PGA memory is insufficient for sort operations. Increasing PGA size, i.e. GA aggregate target, allows more operations to be done in memory, improving performance. Shared pool stores past SUL and dictionary data, not sort buffers. Database buffer cache handles data block caching. Large pool supports large memory allocations for parallel execution. General sorts. Question 5. While examining system privileges, Chloe grants a user the ability to create tables in any schema without specifying any object privileges. Which privilege did she grant? A. Create any table. B. Create table. C. Create session. D. Alter any table. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Create any table allows a user to create tables in any schema without needing specific object level grants. Create table only applies to the user's own schema. Create session merely allows login. Alter any table allows altering tables in any schema but not creating them. System privileges in Oracle are powerful and must be granted cautiously due to their broad scope. Question 6. By evaluating listener configuration issues, David finds that clients cannot connect to the database remotely. Their local connections work fine. Which action is most likely to resolve the issue? A. Restart the database instance. B. Update the tier names. or a file on the server. C. Ensure the listener is running and properly configured with the correct host and port. D. Modify the initialization parameter db cache size. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Remote connection issues often stem from listener misconfiguration or inactivity. Verifying that the listener is active and configured with the correct hostname and port resolves such problems. Restarting the instance won't fix listener issue. Updating tier names or on the server is less relevant unless the server is acting as client. db cache size tuning affects performance, not connectivity. Question 7. When faced with table space management challenges, Prayer wants to store extremely large tables without segmenting them across multiple data files. Which type of table space is best suited for this? A. Small file table space. B. Big file table space. C. Temporary table space. D. Undo table space. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Big file table spaces allow a single data file up to very large sizes, ideal for huge tables without splitting into multiple files. Small file table spaces use multiple smaller files. Temporary table spaces store temporary segments for sorting. Undo table spaces manage undo data for transactions, not general data storage. Big file is especially useful in ASM environments due to simple management. Question 8. Contrary to popular belief, unified auditing in Oracle 12-IC does not require separate configuration for each type of audit trail. Which key benefit does unified auditing provide over standard auditing? A. It stores audit records in operating system log files. B. Allows selective auditing based on user profile settings. C. Consolidates audit records into a single repository with consistent format. D. Automatically disables auditing for sys user actions. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Unified auditing centralizes all audit trails into a single consistent format stored in a unified repository. This simplifies management and improves performance. Standard auditing requires multiple trails, e.g. sys or OS files. It doesn't depend on user profile settings for basic operation. Sys actions are not automatically exempt. A unified auditing still captures them if configured. Question 9. In the modern context of RMAN backups, which type of backup only includes blocks that have changed since the last backup at the same or lower level? Level 0 backup. B. Full backup. C. Level 1 incremental backup. D. Cumulative backup. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. A level 1 incremental backup captures only changed blocks since the last level 0 or level 1 backup, optimizing storage and time. Level 0 backups are baselines containing all blocks. Full backups capture the entire dataset without considering prior backups. Cumulative backups capture all changes since the last level 0, regardless of level 1 backups taken in between. Question 10. During the process of configuring ASM, Liam needs to ensure high availability and automatic data mirroring without using RAID at the storage level. Which ASM redundancy option should he choose? A. External redundancy. B. Normal redundancy. C. Minimal redundancy. D. High redundancy. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. High redundancy in ASM maintains 3 copies of each extent, ensuring maximum protection against disk failures without relying on RAID. External redundancy assumes storage provides mirroring. Normal redundancy keeps 2 copies. Minimal redundancy is not an ASM setting in Oracle 12-IC. High redundancy is ideal for critical systems where data availability outweighs storage cost. Question 11. From multiple perspectives, Jacob is analyzing our reports and notices repeated latch contention events linked to library cache usage. Which tuning approach is most appropriate before considering hardware upgrades? A. Reduce hard passes by optimizing SUL and using bind variables. B. Increase EGA memory allocation to reduce disk sorting. C. Move to a big file table space to reduce file I/O. D. Enable parallel query for all large table scans. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. High latch contention in the library cache often stems from excessive hard passes. Optimizing SUL and using bind variables reduces passing frequency and contention. increasing PGA effects sorting, not library cache. Big file table spaces address file management, not parsing. Parallel query may increase latch contention due to more parsing activity, making it counterproductive here. Question 12. As a result of a sudden network change, Naomi's PDB connections fail from remote clients, but CDB connections still work. Listener configuration is correct. What should she check first? A. The DB cache size parameter for the PDB. B. The TNS entry in TS names, or for the PDB service name. C. The PGA aggregate target for the PDB. D. Whether the PDB service is registered and open. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. If a E is open or its service is not registered, remote connections fail even with a working listener. DB cache size and PGA aggregate target affect performance, not connectivity. The TN names or entry matters, but won't fix the issue if the PDB service itself isn't available. Ensuring the PDB is in open state and properly registered resolves the problem. Question 13. Considering the evidence, which action best preserves read consistency during concurrent transactions in Oracle? A. Using redo logs to store uncommitted changes. B. Allocating more PGA memory. C. Using undo data to reconstruct older data versions. D. Applying checkpoints more frequently. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Undo data stores previous versions of changed blocks, allowing queries to see consistent results even when other transactions modify the data. Redo logs store change records for recovery, not read consistently. PGA memory supports sorting and session memory, unrelated to undo logic. Frequent checkpoints ensure durability but don't maintain consistent read snapshot. Question 14. By comparing incremental backup strategies, where Oman operation reduces backup size by including only changed blocks since the last level 0 backup regardless of any intermediate level 1 backups. A. Differential level 1 backup. B. Cumulative level 1 backup. C. Incremental merge. D. Full backup. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Cumulative level 1 backups capture all changes since the last level 0, ignoring intermediate level 1 backups, leading to a predictable restore process. Differential level 1 backups capture only changes since the most recent level 0 or level 1, potentially reducing backup size but complicating restores. Incremental merge updates image copies but is not a traditional cumulative backup. Full backups copy all blocks every time. Question 15. During the process of creating a database with DBCA, Marcus chooses a custom template and adds multiple data files to the user's table space. What is a key implication of this choice? A. User's table space will be created as big file table space automatically. B. Multiple data files will be managed individually unless ASM is used. C. All data files will share the same file size automatically. D. The table space will be read only after creation. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. In a small file table space, multiple data files are managed separately and DBCA won't automatically consolidate them unless ASM is configured. Big file table spaces hold only one data file. Data files can vary in size unless explicitly set. Table spaces are read-write by default unless specifically created as read-only. Question 16. The fundamental question is how to ensure minimal downtime while upgrading a database to 12eC. Which method offers the fastest upgrade with the least user impact? A. Data pump export import. B. Transportable table spaces with Oman. C. In-place upgrade using database upgrade assistant DUA. D. Creating RCD and plugging in PBS after conversion. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. An in-place upgrade via DUA automates pre-checks, applies changes, and preserves user data with minimal downtime. Data pump requires full export import, increasing downtime. Transportable table spaces move data quickly but involve more manual steps and require compatibility checks. Creating a DUA plugging in EBS can be efficient in multi-tenant environments but still compatibility conversion, often causing more downtime than DUA. Question 17. Under the assumption that automatic maintenance tasks are disabled, which tool provides the most comprehensive analysis of performance bottlenecks in Oracle 12eC? A. SQL Tuning Advisor. B. Automatic database diagnostic monitor ADAM. C. OWL baselines. D. vSession wait view. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. ADAM uses OWL snapshots to analyze database performance and identify root causes, offering actionable recommendations across multiple components. SUL Tuning Advisor focuses on SUL statement performance only. OWL baselines provide historical performance data, but no automated analysis. vSession wait shows current wait events, but doesn't provide holistic analysis or recommendations. Question 18. Examining the consequences of granting the create session privilege to a user without any other privileges, what can that user do? A. Connect to the database and perform any read operation. B. Connect to the database but not query or modify data. C. Connect and create schema objects in their own schema. D. Connect and create tables in any schema. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Create session allows a user to log in but grants no access to objects or data. Additional object or system privileges are required to read or modify data. Creating schema objects requires create table, create view, etc. Creating objects in any schema requires corresponding any privileges. Question 19. When evaluating the merits of ASM disk group redundancy, which mode stores 2 copies of each extent, balancing fault tolerance with storage efficiency. A. External redundancy. B. Normal redundancy. C. High redundancy. D. Double mirroring. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Normal redundancy maintains 2 copies of each extent, offering protection against a single disk failure while using less space than high redundancy. External redundancy assumes hardware-level protection. High redundancy keeps 3 copies. A double mirroring is not an ASM mode, its descriptive term, not an Oracle-supported redundancy type. Question 20. With respect to flashback table, which prerequisite must be met before you can rewind a table to a previous point in time? A. Table must be part of a read-only table space. B. Row movement must be enabled on the table. C. Table must have a unique constraint on all columns. D. Archive logging must be disabled. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Flashback table relies on row movement to relocate rows to earlier versions, so it must be enabled beforehand. Read-only table spaces cannot be modified, making flashback impossible. Unique constraints are not a requirement for flashback. Archive logging should remain enabled for flashback and other recovery features. Disabling it reduces recoverability. Question 21. When presented with a requirement to quickly copy a database for development purposes while minimizing storage usage, Ethan considers several options. Which approach is most efficient in an ASM environment? A. Create a database clone using OMAN with block change tracking enabled. B. Use a storage level snapshot outside ASM control. C. Use OMAN's duplicate command with from active database option. D. Create PDB clone within the SimCE. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Cloning, i.e. in the SimCDB, is highly efficient using metadata-only operations in many cases, thus minimizing storage use. OMAN cloning still requires significant storage. Storage-level snapshots may not integrate with ASM and Oracle's management tools. OMAN from active database reads over the network, which is faster than backups, but still less efficient than PDB metadata cloning. Question 22. The prevailing attitude toward undo table space management is that automatic undo management is preferred. Why? A. It requires no tuning of undo size and ensures infinite undo retention. B. It dynamically tunes undo table space usage based on workload. C. It automatically performs undo table space backups. D. It disables manual undo retention settings. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Automatic undo management adjusts undo table space usage dynamically based on workload, reducing manual tuning. It does not guarantee infinite undo retention. Space can still be reused if needed. It doesn't handle backups automatically. Manual undo retention can still be configured, but Oracle will override it if space pressure occurs. Question 23. Historically speaking, which Oracle background process writes redo log buffers to the online redo log files, i.e. BOE. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation into log writer flushes redo log buffer contents to online redo logs, ensuring durability, but the dirty buffers to data fills with T senior board biduri it checkpoints but doesn't write redo itself. SMON handles instance recovery and space cleanup, not redo writing. Question 24. By evaluating database connectivity strategies, Sophia wants to reduce client configuration needs by allowing connections without a TNIMs or a file. Which feature should she use? A. Easy Connect naming method. B. Directory naming via LDAP. C. Local naming with service aliases. D. External OS authentication. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Easy Connect allows clients to connect using a simple host, port service name syntax without TNAMEs, or a directory naming requires LDAP setup. Local naming still requires TNAMEs or entries. External OS authentication is unrelated to network naming and still requires some connection configuration. Question 25. Across different scenarios, the Data Recovery Advisor in Oraman is most useful for which purpose? A. Automatically scheduling regular database backups. B. Diagnosing and generating repair scripts for data corruption or missing files. C. Tracking historical performance metrics. D. Optimizing redo log switch frequency. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The Data Recovery Advisor analyzes failures such as missing or corrupted files and generates Oraman scripts for automated or manual repair. It doesn't schedule backups, use Oraman, or scheduler for that. Performance tracking is for ORADM, not DRA. Redo log optimization is unrelated to DRA's purpose. Question 26. When faced with a requirement to reduce redo generation during bulk inserts, Arjun considers options. Which method is best? A. Use direct path insert with no-logging mode in an append operation. B. Use conventional insert with bind variables. C. Use update statements instead of insert. D. Disable redo logs during the operation. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Direct path inserts with no-logging and append reduce redo by bypassing the buffer cache and writing data directly to data files. Conventional inserts still generate redo for each row. Updates generate redo and undo, often more than inserts. Redo logs cannot be disabled in a running database, and only some operations can be done with minimal logging. Question 27. To better understand privilege management, Amir wants to grant multiple privileges and revoke them as a group. What should he use? A. Create a role and grant privileges to it. B. Grant privileges directly to all required users. C. Use system triggers to enforce privilege checks. D. Create profiles for privilege grouping. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Roles allow grouping multiple privileges so they can be granted or revoked collectively. Direct grants require individual management. System triggers can enforce security rules, but don't group privileges. Profiles control resource usage and password policies, not privileges. Question 20. The correlation between checkpoint frequency and recovery time is best described how they more frequent checkpoints reduce recovery time but increase EO overhead. B. More frequent checkpoints reduce EO overhead but increase recovery time. C. Less frequent checkpoints always improve performance. D. Checkpoint frequency has no measurable impact on recovery. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Frequent checkpoints write dirty buffers to disk more often, reducing the amount of redo to apply during recovery, thus shortening recovery time. However, they increase EO overhead. Less frequent checkpoints can improve performance but lengthen recovery. Saying it has no impact is incorrect, as recovery time is directly related to checkpoint intervals. Question 29. During the process of a silent installation of Oracle database software, what file provides all necessary parameters for we to run without user interaction? A. An Aura. B. Aura tab. C. Response file. D. S file. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. A response file contains predefined configuration parameters for Oracle Universal Installer, enabling silent installations without prompts in it, or its file store initialization parameters for the database, not installer configuration. OraTab maps instances to Oracle Home but isn't used for installation automation. Question 30. Given the circumstances of adhering to analyze session-level wait events in real time, which view is most appropriate? A. vSession. B. DBA HistActive SES history. C. vSession event. D. vSkill monitor. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. vSession event shows real-time cumulative wait event statistics per session. vSession lists current sessions but not detailed waits. DBA HistActive SES history provides historical data, not real-time. vSkill monitor focuses on active SQL execution monitoring, not overall wait events.